concerned with you liking or disliking me. All I ask is that you respect me as a human being. Jackie Robinson. At the time of Jackie Robinson, America was severely segregated. African Americans had to sit in the back of the bus where it was filthy and disgusting. They couldn't just sit down and order at a restaurant. They would have to get their food in the back door. They would even have to go attend different schools, and this happened because of how unfair the Jim Crow laws were toward African Americans. This happened for a long time, even until Jackie Robinson was playing baseball. Jackie Robinson had a great impact on others' lives, shocked America, and broke multiple barriers, which one of them was breaking the color barrier in baseball by being one of the first African Americans to play in the major leagues. Jackie Robinson has changed the world for African Americans who wanted the fight for civil rights. Jack Roosevelt Robinson was born on January 31st, 1919, in a small town called Cairo, Georgia, to a family of sharecroppers. When he was about 6 months old, Jackie's father left him and his family, and they decided to move to Pasadena, California, into a white neighborhood. Their white neighbors hated them so much that they would call the police just because there was a black boy outside and they didn't want them there. Jackie went to college at Pasadena Junior College for a semester, then dropped out to attend UCLA and lettered there in 4 sports: basketball, baseball, football, and track. Soon after, he couldn't keep paying for college, so he enrolled into the military and decided to leave in late 1944. Later, he married Rachel Isom, who was studying nursing, on February 10th, 1946, and had 3 children together: Jackie Jr., Sharon, and David Robinson. After marrying Rachel, he pursued his dream of baseball. So he played for the Kansas City Monarchs for 1 season in the Negro League to show that he could play extremely well. And that's when he saw MLB scouts trying to talk to him. Branch Rickey, the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, was trying to find someone that was black but still had a good attitude about other people's actions toward him, be able to break the color barrier in baseball, and help segregation stop, to help the white people understand that they weren't any more superior than African Americans. His scouts found somebody like this. It was Jackie Robinson. They found him playing on the Monarchs, and they were blown away by his ability to perform well and have a good attitude. When Rickey's scouts brought back Jackie, Branch Rickey told him that he needed to show his skills in the minors on the Montreal Royals before he could play in the majors and show his skills as an African American and break the color barrier in baseball and even sports in general. By the time he finished, he definitely showed a skill by helping his team make it to the Minors World Series and win against the Louisville Colonels. After showing that he was just as good as any other baseball player, he was signed to the Brooklyn Dodgers for a $5,000 one-year deal and shattered the color barrier that was currently standing in other African Americans' way by being one of the first African American baseball players to play in the major leagues. By the end of his first season, Jackie had won the Rookie of the Year award and was the first African American to receive it. In his first few seasons, he was very strongly opinionated about having black staff for players to show that blacks were just as good as any other baseball player or staff. He also experienced bad things like getting spiked in his games, and people would give him death threats because of him going into an away stadium and they didn't want somebody black playing there. Jackie once even got a note that said, "Robinson, we will kill you if you attempt to enter a game at Crosley Field," and this showed how big of a barrier Jackie Robinson was breaking. Later, he was able to convince the MLB that having African Americans in the major leagues was good, and every team had a black staff member or player, but this only kept up for a little while. In his 1950 season, Jackie was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Because of this and other personal challenges, his performance started to worsen, and by the end of his 10th season, he was traded to the New York Giants. Because of this, Jackie needed to retire because of his health that was declining, and signed a short-term deal with Chock full of nuts, and then left to start working with Martin Luther King Jr. to help with civil rights. When he started working with Martin Luther King Jr., he started trying to help presidents who were voting towards civil rights get the African American vote so the presidential candidate could win the election and help African Americans have equal rights. He He was able to get a good president by helping John F. Kennedy win the election and actually help Martin Luther King get out of jail. Because of this, Martin Luther King Jr. was a crucial part of the civil rights movement, but he couldn't have been if Jackie wasn't able to elect John F. Kennedy. Jackie going to the major leagues and his fight for civil rights caused many other African Americans to be inspired by him, and a lot more people started playing professional sports without the fear of people hating them or not wanting them there to play. His fights for having black staff was yet again fulfilled after a lot of MLB teams didn't have a black staff member or players when every team in the MLB had a black staff member or player. By the time he was done working with Martin Luther King Jr., it was 1962, and Branch Rickey had asked him to come to a town called Cooperstown, New York, to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. When he got there, he accepted the honor and was the first African American to receive it, and showed everybody that he had just broken a huge barrier in history to help all African Americans in the U.S. Jackie going to the major leagues and his fight for civil rights also helped convince others that whites were not any more superior than blacks, and even though not everything has been fixed, now in 2020, blacks have just as many opportunities as anybody else in America, like being able to shop at the same stores as whites, sharing the same bus seats with whites, attending the same schools as whites, and getting to eat at the same restaurants as whites. Jackie Robinson has forever changed the world and has broken so many barriers that have helped people all around America, and now we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day every year on April 15th because of Jackie's accomplishments on the field and off it with the civil rights movement. Jackie has also helped Americans understand that it doesn't matter what color of skin you have or what your race is, you are still an American. And finally, he has helped people recognize African Americans for their help to make America a stronger and more firm country. After showing everybody that he had just broken a huge barrier, Jackie Robinson died from diabetes and heart problems on October 24th, 1972.